Hello, and welcome to the Laboratory for Information Technology Evaluation, or as we like to call it, the LITE Lab. My name is Nick Rollins, and I'm the lab manager here.
I'm Apurva, and I'm the lab research assistant.
Today we're going to show you some of the technology we have here in the lab, and something that you might want to use for your projects. And we're going to demonstrate two devices here, the eye tracking machine and the EEG.
So now we are going to demonstrate the Tobii Eye Tracker. First I'll be going to set up a project, and then we'll go to experiment it with one of the volunteers. Okay, so this is how the interface looks like, and it's quite simple. I'm going for a new project, let's say demo 1. Okay, so you can actually create more than one test in it. So it's asking for the test name so that you can go for more tests if you want. So this interface is quite simple. It's just drag and drop, and there are several media like videos, images, instructions. You can also go for questionnaires. Okay. Yeah. So this is how the interface looks like. First I'll be going for an instruction. I have some instructions set up, so I'm just going to copy paste some stuff. And then I'm trying to go for an image in the experiment. You can also set time for how long you want the image to be on the screen. Right now I just don't want any time set, so I'm just going for a key press and then another set of instructions. And press OK, and then next we'll go for a movie. I'm just adding a video clip into the experiment. Okay, so after the movie, I'd like to add some more questionnaire to it. So I'm just going for the questionnaire tab, as you can see. I have some questions ready. So these questions can be multiple choice, so I need to give some choices. Okay, so I'm adding another question to it. Some questions related to the video clip. Some choices for the question. Okay, so we're done with the questionnaire, and next I'd like to add another set of instructions. I'm just dragging and dropping. So these instructions are for a website whose URL I'm going to put it in here. Okay, so this icon, this web icon, is to add a URL into the experiment. Okay, I have a URL in mind, so I'm just putting that right up there. Okay. So now we are ready with the experiment. So that's how simple it is to set up an experiment for a research or any kind of project in the Tobii software. Somewhere over here, which will actually track your eyes. And sometimes you can also switch on the camera, but right now it's not on. Yeah, so this is just for the eye tracking. I'll go ahead and start recording. What's your name again?
John, go ahead.
Button. and as you can see, we are trying to calibrate it. The eyeball should be between the y-axis of, the y-axis, the green of the y-axis and green of the x-axis. So we are going here and starting it. So here it's just making sure that the left eye and the right eye captured where exactly his eyeballs were at that particular time. So he's accepting it. And starting his eye.
Try not to move
Oh, I'm sorry.
in too much.
You think you saw it?
I thought so.
Okay.
Ball by the volleyball net. Now, based on what you guys are seeing right here, what kind of video clip do you think this might be?
Ad?
An ad? Okay. For what? Alcohol ad?
Wine.
Wine?
Looks like it.
Those are good guesses, but it's
It's an ad
for
for glasses.
it's actually for a dishwashing company. But those are all good guesses. See, with this software, if you were a marketing company or something, you can evaluate the effectiveness of your marketing efforts through the eye tracking machine. See what people are actually looking at, see if they're looking at what you want them to look at, and we'll see here in a minute if their marketing efforts were worth it.
Yeah. John, did you see the glass
Advertising the
dishwasher or just the people?
People.
Oh,
Basically.
Yeah.
Advertising, right?
Yeah.
Ads and
S-
you use ads. You can, for example, if you integrate this with the website, right?
Uh-huh.
And you can push the ads based on what he's actually looking at.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep. You can see if what they're looking at on the ad, and you might have to move his mouse over. Oh.
I did.
Okay. Yeah. Can you put it in full screen, or will it let you? No. Okay. Oh yeah, that video that we seen, it was a dishwashing company, and you notice there was a lot of glasses in the commercial, and they obviously want you to look at the glasses and see how clean they are to kind of reflect that on their brand. So if he's looking at the people in the background, then he's not paying any attention to the glasses, and maybe their efforts were wasted in that area. So we'll see. We'll find out.
Do I have to go until the screen's full?
Oh no, you can play with it as long as you want, or whatever. Have you done this before?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
Do I just close them? That's a nice mount.
Press escape when you're done. Okay, so that's the end of the test.
Okay. So now we have John's recording, and now we see the visualizations that this web interface will come up with. So this is the picture which John saw. So it is a Bears Waldo picture, and as you can see, in this is one visualization called the gaze plot. As you can see, he went from one place to other. So this was his first gaze. You can see it in order from 1 to any number of gazes he has given it, and he saw Waldo at the gaze around 44 or around 30s. We can zoom it in and I'll show you. Yeah, so this is where he saw first, this is where he saw 9th, 10th. So it will give you a proper order of the gaze. And the next visualization we can actually look up is the heat map. And the heat map gives you it in a color kind of way. So the red is where he most looked at this light green is he actually gazed at it, but not really for very long. So that is what is about the heat map. And then the cluster. This kind of visualization is most useful for websites, wherein you'll know where to, for example, if you're marketing or you're in advertising for websites, you can actually see where to put your advertisements on a particular website. So where would you put a ad if this was a website? Probably in the red, because that is where a participant or user most looked at. You wouldn't want to put it in yellow or green or anything like that. Yeah. In the web page, he most looked at this area. The cluster visualization shows us that he most looked at this area, slightest in this, and the next best in this one. So next is the heat map. Let me zoom out a little bit, and yeah, he was looking mostly at the navigation just to figure out if this is how I'll go down on the web page. And then he also looked at the sand which he was playing with, and the gaze plot again, the order in which he looked at the web page. And yeah, so okay, we'll try to replay it once before. Yeah, from this you can see his exact trail of gazes. And if it's stopping at one point, then that means he was looking at it for pretty long. So you can actually go through the whole experiment of where he was looking, the video, the image, the website. So it's pretty useful for not only websites, for any kind of usability project that you're trying to test its user friendliness or ease of use of that particular website or that particular any interface that you create.
The next device that we want to talk about is the EEG machine. This is a headset with 16 electrodes on it that you would wear on your head, and it measures brainwave activities as you are conducting your experiment. So it determines what, the type of mood your user is in as he or she is going through the experiment, and it gives you a lot of meaningful data. So let's take a look at what that looks like. Okay, so this is what the software looks like for the EEG machine. We have the headset on our user's head, and we are trying to establish a good connection. So we are moving the electrodes until all these dots turn green here. Once we find a good connection, we can look into some of the cool things that you can do with this software. Oh, almost had it. There we go. So first thing I want to show you guys is over here in the detections. You can do some pretty cool little things. Here.
That's creepy. That's really creepy. I don't like it. It's creepy.
So yeah, you can train through different facial expressions and for raising your eyebrows, furrow brows, smiling, clenching, laughing, left smirk, right smirk. And after you train, if like things are still not working right, like if it's blinking and you're not blinking, you can turn the sensitivity down on all those actions. So that's something else that's kind of cool. You can do this. Okay, so yeah, you can mess around with these settings a little bit to kind of tune it in, but that's one cool thing you can do with this. You can train the device to where you can move objects on the screen with your mind, which is pretty cool. So we'll go to training, and first you gotta train in a neutral state. So I'm gonna push start training here and try to just be neutral, however neutral means to you.
What does it mean to be neutral?
Oh, actually I didn't. So just try to be neutral for 30 seconds. Just kind of stare at the wall or something. Okay, so your neutral state is recorded. Now we'll go to an action, let's see. Okay. Oh, there we go. Go ahead and try to push the object. There you go. Alright. So that's one of the cool things you can do on here as well. Now, that kind of stuff, it might be meaningless for your project, so you might want to go to performance metrics. Now what this tells you, this is pretty neat. As you go through your experiment, you can test your participants' different states, such as valence, engagement, frustration, meditation, excitement, long-term excitement. And basically what this is showing you right here is that our participant, she is, okay, now her excitement's going up quite a bit. It's that orange line right there. Her engagement is starting to slow down a little bit. Her frustration is somewhat neutral. But this is a pretty powerful tool to test your user's mood as he or she goes through the experiment. This gives you a lot of meaningful data, especially alongside with the eye tracking or the Q sensor that we have here in the lab. And you can do some pretty neat stuff with it. So I would encourage you to check it out and see how you can benefit from this type of data.